I have just walked out of the gym, straight out of my session, and I have just quit my program. Ouch, 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 ouch. Why does my body hate me? The reason why I have done that is because I have hurt myself. And I just don't put any focus on like rehabilitation and stretching and flexibility. I am going into my sessions and I am just so, even with my warm-ups, I'm just so tight. I feel like I can't move, and then because I'm always a lack of time and rushing, I prioritize my workout rather than actually doing any mobility and rehab and prehab work, and it's just no good to be like this. And I think if I don't address it, I will actually end up really hurting myself. So this week I thought I was just going to pick up my camera. I'm actually on my phone at the moment, meaning I've got no problem getting into the gym and really working hard, but where I find it hard is to actually slow myself down and really focus on working on the areas that are just not working properly. I can't get a good squat at the moment because my hip flexors are so tight, my lower back is really tight. Everything just doesn't feel good. This week I'm putting everything down and I'm going to focus on mobility and flexibility. I'm going to do some really fun workouts that are so away from my programming and so far away from what I do. At the moment I am doing bodybuilding, so I work on a bodybuilding split and I just need a week off. So I thought I would share me doing some mobility and some stretching, and that way I can give you guys a few workouts. So I'm probably coming across a bit flat at the moment. I am a bit flat because I've just walked out of the gym and gone, nope, and that's not really me. I tend to get on with it anyway. But that's the problem. I just get on with it. I don't listen to myself. So this is actually a positive thing because I am getting into my body and I'm going to listen to myself. And let's see if I can get myself moving a bit and hopefully give you guys some good exercise ideas for the week. Welcome to my video. Here I am in my car on the way to Costa so I can go and do some work. So, I just got home and I have to say, my mood's not the best. It's my ambition by the end of this week that I will actually have a fully rehearsed pre-workout warm-up routine, which will involve some dynamic stretching and mobility drills and foam rolling, just to get myself better equipped for my workouts. Just going to do a little monsters dinner, bath, bedtime routine. Rem's going to be home to do that. I can feed my dad and then we are going to get out there and work on some stretches because I can't move. Oh no. You are going. You are going to have to excuse what I look like because I've just had a hot shower. Here we go. The first thing I did after a hot shower was to jump on the foam roller just so I could move my body again. I felt confident that nothing was in spasm and I felt confident that it was the right thing to do. Very often, if you have an acute injury or muscle strain, it isn't always best to simply go nuts with manipulations and myofascial release. My former chiropractor, who is only former because the miracle worker only went and buggered off and relocated to Dubai, told me that if a muscle has tightened or gone into spasm, it can be because it's protecting an underlying injury and so therefore actually doing its job. So obviously you don't want to leave it that way, but you do want to give yourself 5 minutes before trying to iron yourself out. Then Rem came in and he is a master of everything mobility and flexibility, and we just worked on stretching out the posterior chain. So that'll be things all ham, back and butt. Rem and I can be a bit geeky when it comes to our own personal health and fitness, and we really do take the time to research and figure out problems and work out how to address them for ourselves. Rem is actually a qualified personal trainer himself, which is actually how we met. We both worked at trainers at a local private gym. He's not a PT any longer, but I just thought I'd share this fun fact with you. It's not actually relevant at all. Back on topic, we are both fitness enthusiasts and geeks, so we spent hours over the week really working at getting to the source of the problem, looking how to fix it, how to prevent it from happening again. And I, as I do with everything, take quite a educated and scientific approach to anything when it comes to health and fitness and my work. And we did actually film heaps of footage and explainers to share with you and show you my process of how I come about finding out protocols for injury and rehab, but I actually figured it would be a little bit like watching paint dry for you. Like, I'm not interested in watching someone in corporate at work. Like, I imagine it's a lot of pacing around offices, sitting at desks and, you know, making telephone calls, I presume. So instead, I'm just going to give you a little overview of what's been going on with my back and do it to a montage of all the stuff that I have been working on. I have, wait for it, tight hip flexors. I've got tight hip flexors, inactive glutes and weak abdominals. Yay! This is pretty standard for about 98% of the clients who walk through my gym doors. This is what happens when you have a sedentary lifestyle. Why mine are quite so bad given that I have a very active lifestyle and haven't sat down since 1942, I'll never know. So anyways, after a very long week of recording multiple sessions, I'm going to bench all this and make a specific video, hip flexors, activating the glutes, but I didn't want to leave you cold, so I did film a couple of full body workouts that I'd love to share with you, and I also did a really phenomenal ab session where you need no equipment at all apart from a slidey floor and some tea towels. So I'm going to put that in here. I hope you like it. Let's go into exercise session 1. Just a note, if you have got diastasis recti, like the ab separation, or you're sort of within the first 3 months of being postpartum, I wouldn't want to see you doing these exercises. It's just too much pressure on the abdominal wall at this point in your postpartum. The setup for all these various different plank style exercises are exactly the same. Start by your traditional plank, so that will be elbows under your shoulders, bottom off the floor, glutes nice and tight, legs locked, and you're going to pull your tummy up into your spine. For the first exercise, what's actually initiating the movement is actually using your arms. You're trying to pull yourself forward and push yourself back by driving your elbows into the floor. For the next movement, you can see I'm keeping my arms as still as possible, but what I'm trying to do is drive my feet up towards my chest and piking my bottom up. I'm being careful not to hyperextend into my back as I return to the bottom of the movement. This movement was particularly hard for me because I, as I said, do have tight hip flexors, and from this angle you can really see the problem with my glutes. They aren't half flat, so I am working on that. What I'm trying to do is keep myself nice and still, keep my arms still, and I'm just trying to draw my knee out to meet my elbow on the same side. This particular exercise is actually a very good one for postpartum, but remember the other ones aren't. I'm trying to push my rib cage down into the floor. So think about the whole spine pressing against that floor, pulling your tummy button in. I love these single leg drops because I feel that they entirely engage my lower abdominals and my hip flexors don't tend to take over when I'm doing them. So I really recommend you having a go if you do struggle with getting your lower abs fired up. This exercise is so good for core control. It's just a variation of doing an ab wheel rollout, but from your knees. I do actually recommend, if you're new to this exercise, that you start against a wall. So That way you don't push yourself too far and you don't end up hyperextending into your back or losing control of the movement. It does look like a very simple movement, but you've got to be careful to take your hips with you and with your arms. Lots of time people keep their bum back and just try and slide their arms forward, and it doesn't quite do the job. I did various variations of all exercises during the week, but I thought this was the simplest one that I could put you through and for you to implement into your own program. So I hope you enjoy. So that brings us to the end of the week and the end of the video. I am actually so incredibly grateful that this back injury or near injury happened to me, because if it hadn't, I just would not have taken the time out to have worked through this process. So it's really important when, you know, something negative happens or something that you perceive to be negative happens, like an injury or like a fallback on your health fitness journey, just to look at it as a learning opportunity and an opportunity for growth and progress. Now, I can absolutely tell you for sure that I would not have come up with the drills that I had done for mobility and flexibility and working on these weaknesses unless this had happened. And the amazing thing is, this morning I sat up in bed, I had Rocco and Ren beside me watching like Humpty Dumpty or whatever, and I just sat there with my computer and I just worked through absolutely everything that I want to do for pre-workouts as mobility and warm-ups to get myself moving. And also I worked out a static stretch, rehab and foam rolling procedure that I can do outside of my gym sessions, and that just wouldn't have happened. So I'm so glad that I did it. When I trained today, it was not miserable. Fantastic week. Oh yeah, don't forget to give this a thumbs up because it really helps my channel grow. I look forward to seeing you all next week. You know where I am, Thursdays, 7 o'clock. Bye.